This is John from CupboardGlassPipes.com and the Cupboard at American Glass Expo in Las Vegas. What's your name?
I'm Cowboy.
Where are you from?
I currently reside in Eugene, Oregon.
How long have you been in Eugene?
About 2 years now. About 2 years.
How do you like it?
There's no better place to live.
And how long have you been blowing glass?
I'm on my 10th year right now.
That's a long time. Where did you learn how to blow glass?
I actually learned in a little bit of a scattered history. I started to watch my friends blowing glass in the late 90s in South Florida, back when it was still kind of closed door policy with everybody. And so I watched for, I would say, 2 years worth of time and never was able to get on the torch. I then relocated to the Midwest, and my wife took me to go meet a friend of hers that's a glass blower, to go buy a case, to take to Bonnaroo, which is a big music festival. And by the end of the Bonnaroo trip that I went with this glass blower, he decided that he wanted to take me in and give me a step up into blowing glass instead of just selling it. And so I got a foothold under a guy by the name of Ian Razor, and pretty much busted my ass to try to prove myself at that point.
Was it a lot of work breaking in?
Yeah, there's definitely a hump you got to cross where nothing you make is usable, you know, and you reach this plateau where you finally break through and you actually have a pipe that you can breathe air through and is usable. And after that, man, it's awesome. You get a big rush of inspiration, and to be honest with you, it's not the hardest thing once you just have a drive and a lot of inspiration to back you. You know?
That leads to another question. What advice would you give to a lot of new people who are looking to get into the now thriving glass business?
Man, I would say it's just like any other form of thing in life where you want to educate yourself, take as many classes as you can, and really treat it like you're doing schooling. You know, that's like my best advice for anyone starting off. Consider the first 4 years of your glassblowing career to be like college, and make yourself work 80 hours a week. Make yourself break down to the fucking point of exhaustion. And in all reality, what that'll end up doing is causing your whole body to be on an autopilot system, which just, you know, you basically break yourself down to the point of exhaustion. At that point, triggers happen and just things happen for you, you know? That's the key thing. I'd say you just bust your ass. Work harder than you ever thought. And that's the hardest part, being self-motivated, to bring yourself to the level where you are the only one in your studio that night and you still choose to stay there, you know, as opposed to go home and sit on the couch. And self-motivation, work hard, put your blood, sweat, and tears into it.
That's really good advice. So tell me about some of the pieces that the Cupboard just bought from you.
Well, what we have here is a Sherlock made by myself and my friend Harold Cooney. It consists of wig-wag line work, which is here in the mouthpiece and here in the bowl, which is done by myself. And the bottom of the Sherlock, the U, is done by Harold. This is an old Italian technique, probably going on 600-700 years old, called Latticino cane. And Harold is a master of Latticino cane. There's nobody in the borosilicate glass scene that does what this guy does. Before the pipe is ever made, there's probably 6 to 7 hours for that individual section to be made. So it's what in my world of glass is called the form of the pipe, not the function, which can sometimes consist of something as simple as a solid color, or as intricate as this, which is two layers of cane work. An outer one, which has white cane, and an inner one which has rainbow cane. This piece is one of 2 pieces that this cane prep was used in, and the very first and only time so far that this cane has ever been made. As far as I know, and Harold knows, there's been no double layered cane work ever done. Yeah, so this is a very special and unique piece in the history of he and I making pieces.
Wow, that's really impressive.
The cool part about these Sherlocks is they have this marble right here on the side, which works as a kickstand for it, so it could be displayed like so, as well as all of my Sherlocks sit on the bowl and mouthpiece.
Very cool.
So it just gives them multiple ways to be displayed.
These 2 Sherlocks are going to be exclusively at the CupboardGlassPipes.com. Don't pass up on this opportunity to see a piece of glass history all the way from Japan to the Midwest to the West Coast. Now at the Cupboard, we feel very lucky because we picked up artist Tara Stanley's painting of you, Cowboy. Tell us about working with Tara on that.
Man, that is a special piece of art right there. One, I feel honored to have been painted, one, and that you guys picked it up. It's phenomenal, and I'm speechless, shall I say. Tara came to our studio over the winter and decided that she wanted to sit around and kind of free draw what was going on in the shop. I had my buddy Buck and another friend of mine, Rhino, in town for a furnace pulling session where we take molten glass out of a crucible or a pot and pull material out of it. It always becomes a party. You're dealing with a big pot of hot glass and a bunch of guys that like to play with hot glass. So Tara decided to come over, and pretty much the drawing is, the painting is a culmination of different parts of the evening where we were taking color out of the furnace and I was coming onto the torch and pulling it, and the picture she got was me popping an air bubble in the tubing because I didn't want the air bubble to stretch out into the tube pool. So she came up and Brian, her husband, snapped some awesome pictures of that chunk of glass, which is probably a 3 to 4 pound molten chunk. And that's what she chose to paint, which was really cool because you don't really know. She's taking all kinds of pictures and doing all kinds of doodle drawings. And you know, when artist choice is probably one of the coolest part about it, and the biggest surprise to see what they're going to come up with. Yeah, and she nailed it. I'm honestly fully impressed. The piece that's on there is actually a piece I made for my DFO flame off in 2010. Was the piece on the painting. Yeah. Super stoked she picked that picture on top of it.
We're always honored to have you talk with us. Thank you so much. This has been John for the Cupboard's Artist Insights on the CupboardGlassPipes.com.